Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're a focused learner looking to untangle the red tape of the DMV, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're tackling a process that honestly can feel pretty stressful, but I promise you, we are going to make it completely straightforward and actionable.
So, have you ever found yourself stuck because you misplaced your vehicle registration and need a copy urgently in North Carolina? You're not alone, and we're here to guide you through every detailed step to resolve it effortlessly. Take a deep breath. We're going to completely alleviate that panic by giving you a crystal clear path forward, using the official guidelines straight from the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles.
All right, let's just dive right into our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover why registration matters, then what you'll need, step-by-step replacement methods, troubleshooting common issues, some insider tips and shortcuts, and finally, a quick recap and disclaimer.
Okay, Section 1. Why registration actually matters.
Think of your vehicle registration as your car's passport. Basically, it's the state's official record proving that your specific car is tied to you and, that it's actually street legal. Without it, you're essentially undocumented on the road. You absolutely need this piece of paper to verify your active liability insurance, to legally sell the vehicle, and, most importantly, to prove compliance during a law enforcement stop. Driving without it can lead to hefty fines, citations, or even, no joke, the suspension of your driving privileges.
Now, there is a massive, historic shift happening right now in North Carolina. We're moving away from the traditional system, the paper card and the glove box and that little sticker on your license plate, over to a digital-first mandate effective October 1st, 2026. The NCDMV will no longer automatically print physical registration cards or mail plate stickers for standard renewals. Instead, you'll just have free access to a digital PDF. This is a real game changer. It reduces administrative overhead, eliminates paper waste, and literally stops license plate tag theft in its tracks. Officers will just use their in-car computers to verify your status electronically.
Moving on to Section 2. What you will need to get this done.
Okay, so here's your exact checklist. Gather these before you start. First, you need your vehicle's license plate number. Second, you need the last 5 digits of your vehicle title number. If you're wondering where on earth to find those digits, just look at an old renewal notice or a previous registration card, assuming you snapped a photo of it at some point. Third, you absolutely must have a valid North Carolina driver's license or an approved out-of-state ID. And finally, you gotta have proof of active vehicle liability insurance. And it's absolutely crucial to note here that insurance must be issued by a provider specifically licensed to conduct business in North Carolina. Got the whole shebang? Great. All right, Section 3, the step-by-step replacement methods. Let's get that document back. The absolute most common method is online via the My NCDMV portal. This is actually powered by a third-party vendor, and the steps are incredibly straightforward. You just log in, or proceed as a guest, select Vehicle Services, and click to order a duplicate registration. You'll input your plate and those 5 title numbers we just talked about. The system will then prompt you to verify your current insurance, and then you check out securely. Once paid, the system immediately emails you a confirmation, and your physical document will be dispatched by mail. It usually arrives within 7 to 14 business days. So it's fast, but obviously not instant if you need that paper copy today. But what if you do need it right this second? Well, that brings us to the number 131. That is exactly how many active, walk-in, license plate agencies are distributed all across North Carolina. And unlike driver's license offices where you're going to need an appointment months in advance, these agencies operate entirely on a walk-in basis. If you show up with your ID and proof of insurance, they can query the system, print your duplicate registration right over the counter, and hand it to you immediately.
Now, there's also the traditional mail-in option, which is honestly vital for out-of-state residents, like active-duty military personnel stationed somewhere else. For this, you need to download and complete Form MVR-10, but pay super close attention right here. Your signature on this form must be notarized before you mail it, no exceptions. You also have to enclose a black and white copy of your valid ID along with your fee and mail it directly to the DMV headquarters in Raleigh. Because this requires manual administrative review by an actual human, you're going to want to expect a processing time of about 2 to 4 weeks.
Now, what's really interesting here is the breakdown of the costs. Thanks to a recent legislative adjustment, the state's base statutory fee for a duplicate registration is $25.50. But look at how that fluctuates depending on the method you choose. And just to be clear, the state doesn't profit from these extra fees. Those are going to the third-party vendors maintaining the tech. So if you do it online, you pay a $3 flat fee plus a 1.85% card fee. If you use a self-service kiosk, it's a $4.95 fee plus 2%. Going in person with cash or a physical check, you pay exactly $25.50 with 0 surcharges. So yeah, your choice of method directly impacts your wallet.
Let's move into Section 4, Troubleshooting Common Issues. What happens when things get stuck?
So, the crucial point to understand is that North Carolina strictly enforces several mandates. First, if your vehicle hasn't passed its annual safety or OBD emissions inspection, your record is totally frozen. Second is the Tag and Tax Together program. Basically, you must pay your county property taxes at the exact same time as your state registration fees. If you owe property tax, no registration for you. Third, any outstanding debt with the DMV, like an old returned check, will immediately block online and kiosk services. And finally, by law, you must update your physical address within 60 days of moving. Since your registration address is legally validated against your driver's license, having an outdated license means, you guessed it, a frozen registration.
Section 5. Insider Tips and Shortcuts. Let's make this easier for you. Want to skip the line entirely? The NCDMV has deployed these really cool automated self-service kiosks at select commercial venues, like certain Harris Teeter supermarkets. You just walk right up to the terminal, type in your plate and title numbers, swipe your card to pay the fee plus the kiosk surcharge, and boom, it prints your official registration document and receipt right there on the spot. You can literally do it while you're picking up groceries. Also, a quick tip for any state or agency fleet administrators listening: you have your own dedicated shortcut. Fleet vehicles use a separate, streamlined email process directly with the Department of Administration.
As we talked about earlier, North Carolina is undergoing an exciting, totally paperless evolution. We are moving from the present day of physical paper and easily stolen stickers through that October 2026 milestone where the state stops automatically printing cards and shifts to free digital PDFs. And looking even further ahead to 2027, the state plans to integrate digital vehicle registrations directly into the secure NC Wallet mobile app, right alongside your mobile driver's license. Losing a physical registration is quickly becoming a problem of the past. And finally, Section 6, our recap and final disclaimer. All right, if you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, just remember these 4 key steps. First, gather your required data: your license plate, those last 5 title digits, and your NC insurance proof. Second, choose your method based on your urgency and your budget: online, in-person, kiosk, or by mail. Third, make sure you don't have any outstanding tax, inspection, or address holds blocking your way. And lastly, once you have that document in hand, whether it's paper or a digital PDF, store it securely. Following these precise instructions will save you immense time, money, and hassle.
And, of course, just a quick but super important legal note here. The information provided in this explainer is accurate based on state laws and statutory fees as of August 2026. Because regulations, third-party vendor fees, and digital rollout dates are always subject to change by the state legislature, you should always verify the most current steps and requirements directly on the official North Carolina DMV website before you begin your process.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive. So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. As North Carolina rapidly shifts to a digital-first system, are you going to miss having that physical piece of paper in your glove box, or are you completely ready to carry your car's passport safely inside your digital wallet? Thank you so much for joining me and learning together today. Stay focused, stay informed, and drive safely out there.